Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack44227 to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I guess May has officially came to an end not too long ago, and we're now in June as we speak, so yeah, you know what that means, right? That's right, the warm weather is about to kick in, meaning that summer is already on its way, and not to mention, let's not forget to mention for the fact that this is, of course, the start for Pride Month for this year for everyone in the LGBTQ plus community. Just to name me a few for sure, so yeah, I think it's why I can't say, of course, that for, and boy, with what's been going on with me as of now, I've got a lot going on for this month as we speak, so I gotta make sure that of course, I actually can make that count for sure, because let me tell you, I've got a lot going on for sure for, of course, this summer, so I need to make sure I get those off my chest for sure, so yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front, so yeah. And, of course, what better way to kick off this brand new month for me for sure than by checking out pretty much the newest movie that just dropped right around in the last 2 days of course, of the previous month for sure, so yeah. And boy, oh boy, I think I've got a lot to pretty much talk about with, of course, this one, because, well, much like a few other ones I've actually mentioned earlier since the start of this year, I've been anticipating this one for quite some time now, for sure. And, of course, give to the shirt that I'm wearing for sure, and no, it's not pretty much not another Pokemon movie, though that would have been awesome, though. So, yeah. I mean, I guess give it to the shirt that I'm wearing for this thoughts video, and might give you some idea. But, obviously, enough, I guess for today's movie for sure, it's actually quite interesting when you really think about it, so how do I put this, to be honest? Yeah, how the hell do I put this? Oh yeah, now I remember. I think the best way I can actually describe today's movie we're going to be talking about, maybe I guess we might as well do a little technique by far that involves a certain thing that we all know, that being wax on, wax off. Yeah, I think it's probably the best way to put it. Wax on, wax off. Yeah, I think it can get you the idea, of course, what I'm going to be talking about for sure, so yeah, I guess give it to that little hint for sure. I think it will give you the idea, of course, what I could talk about for, of course, today's movie that I'm discussing here today. But for those who don't, we might as well get our, well, wax on technique going with, of course, today's movie that I got the chance to see today, which is none other than Karate Kid Legends. So yeah, that's of course what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also the latest installment in, of course, pretty much well-known movie from way back in the 80s that we all know and love. That being, of course, The Karate Kid. So yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, so yeah. Now, before I can go ahead and talk about this latest movie, boy, what can I say about the Karate Kid that a lot of people haven't already for sure, so yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is, even since after its release, the Karate Kid, even to this day, still remains as, of course, pretty much a brilliant movie by far, and I think it has every right to be such a great one for sure. It's got great acting, pretty much a really engaging story for sure, and not to mention some brilliant action and fighting for sure, so yeah, obviously enough, pretty much give it to what it is. The Karate Kid, even after its release, still holds a place as, of course, not just a really great sports movie, but a really great martial arts movie for what it is for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, even after its release some time ago, it still holds up even to this day for sure, so yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, the Karate Kid needs no introduction whatsoever. It is by all means an icon of a movie that we all know and love for sure, so yeah, and that's just to name me a few. But by the time the sequels actually came out for sure, yeah, let's just say they had a bit of a downgrade compared to the first film for sure, so yeah. I guess pretty much from my experience, the sequels to the Karate Kid did start off alright at best, but did get pretty much a massive downgrade later on for sure. But thankfully, it did make quite a bit of a change, only for a little bit, with of course its remake from 2010, which is of course way better than the sequels. But definitely an alright flick for what it is, so yeah, regardless of course what you thought of the other films for sure, we know hands down the original Karate Kid movie is still an icon nonetheless. It was a brilliant film back then, and it's a brilliant film now for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much my pinpoint on, of course, all the Karate Kid movies that came out over the years. Now, I never actually saw the Cobra Kai series that followed up afterwards, but I did hear pretty good things about it, so I might look into it pretty much later on down the road if I'm actually lucky, so yeah. But I'm not here to actually talk about pretty much that, nor even some of the other films, though technically for the latter, I actually did talk briefly about them. I think it makes sense for me to finally talk about this latest one for sure, so yeah. Needless to say, when I first heard the news, and I even saw the trailers for, of course, this one, I actually got myself not only excited, but quite curious at the same time, just to see on how this will compare to, of course, the other films by far, and see if it'll actually have the same charm and likability as the original for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much my mindset going into, of course, this movie for sure. So luckily enough, I did manage to get myself in to officially go and see this movie for myself, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always, and well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing this movie, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, surprisingly enough, I actually do think this movie is pretty decent in my opinion. I mean, okay, it's not necessarily great for what it is, and thank God it's actually not terrible as well. I definitely do think it's actually a pretty decent flick, and surprisingly enough, I did surprisingly have a good time with it for sure. I mean, yeah, there's problems here and there that I can easily spot for sure. But I actually do think it does bring something new and inventive for sure, while also still having the same charm and likability of the original for sure, so So yeah, I did find myself having a good time with it, and yeah, I definitely do think this movie is pretty decent for what it is, for sure, and yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front, so yeah. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, to me, I really don't think it's actually that bad of a story they actually laid out for, of course, this one for sure. I think it still actually pretty much is playing out, of course, what the other films actually did for sure. But I really do like the way they actually brought in something new and inventive at the same time, while actually still trying to keep with its original roots for sure. So yeah. I always do like it when, of course, movies like this would actually try to do something new and inventive with, of course, something from the original that we all know and love for sure, which actually is quite nice when you really think about it for sure. So yeah. I guess, needless to say, maybe I think some parts in it could have used a little reworking here and there for sure, but the rest I have to say is actually nicely done for sure, and I really do love, of course, what they had to offer regardless for sure, so yeah. That's pretty much what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie as a whole for sure. Now, as for the writing for, of course, this one, yeah, like I said, I think I do like on what they have to, on what sort of material they have to craft out to really make the story in this movie actually work to its advantage for sure. And yeah, maybe I think a little rewrite here and there as I do think some parts of it I just kind of felt are a little out of place for, of course, this one. But the rest I do have to say is actually very nicely done for sure, and I really do like the approach they actually went for with, of course, this one for sure, so yeah, I think it's probably what I could say for the writing for, of course, this movie on my part as a whole for sure, and of course, let's not forget to mention the comedy I have to say, well, I guess every once in a while, I did find myself laughing at a really good joke that they actually pulled off, and of course, this one for what it is, so yeah, and again, maybe I think a little reworking here or there to actually make it all the more great for sure, but it's actually not that bad in my opinion. I really do like what they were actually trying to go for with, of course, this one for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, in my opinion, for what it is, so yeah. I guess pretty much of anything for the story, the writing, and the comedy. Again, I like the new approach they actually decide to go for with, of course, all those, and still trying to do something new and inventive compared to the original for sure. But it obviously could have used a little reworking here and there to really make it all the more great, in my opinion, for sure, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got those out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I need to talk about for sure, which next up is, of course, the characters, and honestly, given to what I've actually seen for the characters, I really do like on what they were actually going for with, of course, the characters for sure, and I do think they're alright for what they are for sure. Nothing really anything that great to make them likable and interesting for sure, but I really do like a good amount of development that they're giving here and there, so that way you definitely know their problems and what they need to do to overcome them for sure. That is, of course, the one key point that I actually do find quite interesting with, of course, this movie, and I really do think they did a fine job with each and every single one of them from what I've actually seen. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I really do like on what they actually did for, of course, the characters for sure. So yeah, and of course for the actors that came aboard to play all these characters, yeah, I won't lie, I really do think they pulled off some pretty good performances in my opinion, and I definitely do think they really gave a whole lot of effort to really give off their delivery quite well, that I really do love and admire for sure. So yeah. And of course, I guess quite obviously, pretty much on my part for sure, probably the two massive standouts in my opinion would definitely have to be both Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio for sure. Honestly, given to pretty much for the fact that I've actually seen those two on screen for sure, I really do think they really gave off some really great performances in my opinion, and I really do think they are the massive standouts with, of course, this movie for sure. And I really do like of course, the nice yin and yang that is, of course, working together in, of course, this one, as opposed to be exact opposites for sure. So yeah, pretty much having Ralph Macchio from the original and Jackie Chan from the 2010 remake for sure, I really do think it's actually a nice balance, hands down. Like, you definitely know that two different sides of the Karate Kid need to come together eventually, and I think this movie really did an incredible job, and of course, pretty much having both sides come together for sure. It's kind of like pretty much, let's say, having the new characters from the recent Ghostbusters movies interact with the old ones that we all know and love, or even in Spider-Man No Way Home for sure, and having pretty much the MCU version of Spider-Man actually pretty much encountering the multiple different sides of course, different versions of Spider-Man that we all know. So yeah, and that's just to name me a few for sure. I think that is definitely what I think of for sure for a really good requel for sure, and yeah, pretty much having Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan together from two different versions of the Karate Kid come together, I really do think is actually a nice blend in my opinion, and I really do think it helps work well with to the film's advantage for sure. And that's just to name me a few. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess quite frankly enough, the characters are, of course, fine for what they are, but the actors definitely pulled off some really good performances, in my opinion, for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot, to be honest, so yeah, I guess for one thing, pretty much when you think of a really great martial arts movie, you would definitely know that there's going to be a lot of action and some really great fighting for sure. And this movie didn't disappoint, of course, that front. Pretty much the action and the fight scenes from what I've actually seen, they are actually very nicely done for sure. The way each and every single one of them is, of course, choreographed quite well, actually helps. Actually does help work well to the to what the film is actually providing for sure, to really make it all the more incredible for what it is. So yeah, and of course, pretty much with every single one of them, I really do get myself into the midst of things and really get myself into the action for sure, which I have to say is actually very nicely done, I'm not gonna lie, and for a martial arts movie, I really do think it's actually a massive standout for what it is. So So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that on those aspects alone for sure. And not to mention the incredible production design, I have to say, is actually really nicely done for sure. I really do dig on what they were actually going for with, of course, this one for what it is, and yeah, pretty much given to what I've actually seen for sure. I really do think the film did an incredible job with its production design for what it is, and I really do admire on what they've actually accomplished for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say for that aspect alone for sure. Now, of course, for a few others that I will have to say, like, of course, the direction of this film from the film's director, I mean, I guess, if anything, it's not bad per se, but I really do admire the hard-working effort they're actually trying to do with, of course, this one. But I guess for what it is alright, in my opinion. Nothing really to write home about for sure, so yeah, I think it's what I can say for the direction, and of course, this movie for sure. Now, as for some of the other aspects for sure, like, of course, the cinematography, for example, I really do think is actually quite good for what it is, as I really do admire the really good camera shots they actually pulled in to, of course, make this one all the more great for sure, and I really do admire, of course, what they actually did for sure, so yeah, I think with, of course, pretty much for what it is, the cinematography in this film is actually nicely done for sure, and I really do like the amount of ways they actually showed off each and every single camera shot from what I've actually seen, so yeah, and of course the editing, I have to say, well, I guess pretty much of anything is, I guess I will have to say there might be way too many quick cuts from what I've actually seen, as I do wish you could have actually reworked them here and there to actually try to really match with everything that goes on. But I really do think it is fine for what it is. Again, nothing really to write home about for what it is. And yeah, I think it's probably what I could say for that aspect alone for sure. But, of course, the film's pacing, I have to say, well, I mean, I guess if anything, in order to have a really great martial arts movie, you need to have a really good pacing for sure. And this movie really did utilize some pretty good pacing, I'm not gonna lie. Not great, but actually still pretty good nonetheless for sure, so yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, that's pretty much what I can say for everything that I can say about this movie as a whole for sure, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole for sure, so yeah, I guess overall, Karate Kid Legends, I mean, it's, for a while, it's not really on par compared to the original for sure, and I think there might be some stuff that could use a little reworking here and there. The rest, I have to say, is actually very nicely done for what it is, and still wants to keep the charm and likability as the original for sure, which actually results in a pretty decent enough, but still a fine flick nonetheless for sure. Again, I can't necessarily say it's by all means terrible, but not that great either. I did find myself finding it decent enough for what it is, and I guess given to all that, I did find myself having a good time with it regardless for sure. I mean, okay, it's not for everyone for sure. In fact, I know hands down that a lot like everyone else, the original Karate Kid movie is still actually pretty much the much more superior film for what it is. And I totally get that, and that's fine for what it is for sure. So I think probably the best way I can put it is that, for while it's not really on par compared to the original for sure, I think I would probably place it almost on the same level as the 2010 remake for what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's alright for what it is, and pretty much a decent flick given to what I've actually seen. But with some of the new and inventive ideas that they decide to throw into, of course, this one, while still trying to keep the same charm as the original for sure, it did give me a pretty good time regardless. So if that's pretty much how I felt about the 2010 Karate Kid remake, that's pretty much the same thing I can say for this movie as a whole. So yeah. So yeah, I think you can pretty much argue with me all you want, given to what I've actually said, but for what it is, yeah, I definitely do think this is actually a decent flick for sure, and yeah, not really that bad in my opinion, but still decent enough for what it is, and I really do think, yeah, surprisingly enough, I do think it is worth my recommendation for sure. Does it have problems? Yeah, pretty much. In fact, if anything, you could have actually done some stuff that could have actually made it a whole lot better. But for what it is, I really do think it gave me a good enough time regardless, and that's okay for my understanding for sure. So yeah, if that's something you're actually looking into, hands down, then by all means, get your wax on, wax off technique ready, well, to actually fight your way to, of course, see this movie for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I'm gonna be fair, of course, on this one, and I'll give it a decent 6.5 out of 10 as my final score. Again, I really don't think it's actually that great of a movie on its own, but not terrible either. Just a pretty decent enough flick for what it is. But it still wants to bring something new and inventive, but staying true to the original Karate Kid movie for what it is. And I think it really did accomplish that quite well for sure, So yeah, and if that's something you might be in for, hands down, then I say this movie might be worth the recommendation, of course, on my front for sure. You're probably not going to get much for what it is, but I think you're guaranteed something not necessarily terrible nor great, but still a decent experience nonetheless. And of course, pretty much of anything, like I said, I'm glad I saw this movie for what it is, and if it's willing to give me a good time, I think it did accomplish that quite well. So yeah, if that's definitely something up your alley, whether you're a fan of Karate Kid or not, then this movie is well worth checking out. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Karate Kid Legends if you have actually seen it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoy it and think it's actually a really solid flick that really kept the same charm and likability as the original? Or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute betrayal, of course, on what the Karate Kids stand for? Or are you like me and you thought this movie was okay for sure? Just a decent enough flick for what it is, but still has some good stuff in it to still have the same charm and likability as the original. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I would love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and don't worry, I've got plenty of stuff that'll be coming up for, of course, this month. So whatever ones I've got planned out as we speak, I'll be sure to get them out for all of you guys. So I guess until then, I think I'm quite curious to see on what new releases that'll be coming up for, of course, this month for sure. Because, yeah, there's going to be a whole lot to be honest. So I got to make sure pretty much the next ones that come out will, of course, be be as solid as, of course, the really great flicks we got last month for sure. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest Thoughts video. And now if you excuse me, how am I gonna pretty much sneak in pretty much any of my ballet-themed cosplays for that John Wick spin-off movie that's coming up? I mean, it might be tricky for sure, but I'll find a way. Bye. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.